We are a democracy. Some of my Republican friends and some of my Democratic friends even occasionally say, well, if you can't get the votes by executive order, you're going to do something. Things you can't do by executive order unless you're a dictator. We're a democracy. We need consensus. So this is the first one I'm signing. Second one I'm signing here. Third one I'm going to sign, and that's what I'm going to do while you're all here. What I'm signing is strengthening supply chain. This next one is keeping workers safe. This next one, this next one, this next one, this next one.
The 15 that you saw stacked on the side of his desk, almost like restaurant menus.
Next one, next one, next one.
17 executive orders. That's more on a first day than the last 4 presidents combined.
Signed 4 more executive orders today.
President Biden so far has signed more than 24 executive orders. Mr. Biden has issued almost 30 executive orders.
We're a democracy. We need consensus.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Evening Talk Show. We're going to be going over a few things. First, we're going to be going over Joe Biden's amazing executive orders and how many he did. In the first week of him being president, he has signed 32 executive orders. 32. We're going to be going through just a few of them. Not all of them, because if I went through all of them, it would take me freaking all day. But we're going to go over a few of them that I think are pretty important. So, 32. According to the American Presidency Project at the University of California, Santa Barbara, no other president has ever issued as many executive orders within their first week as Joe Biden has. Now, this is going to be a precedent for how they're going to be using and abusing this executive branch. I mean, just to show just how regular this is, we're going to go through some past presidencies here now. Donald Trump signed 4 in his first week, 2017. Barack Obama signed 5 in 2009. George Bush signed 0 in 2001. And Bill Clinton signed 1 in 1993. Joe Biden just signed 32. My man's pen was running. I don't know if you saw the video, but he had a whole stack, just a stack, and he'd say, whoop, 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 signing them off. But I mean, I guess. Now, before we get into the first one, I wanted to show you guys a video because it's important.
We are going to get rid of fossil fuels.
Well, what about, say, stopping fracking and stopping pipe?
Would there be any place for fossil fuels, including coal and fracking, in a Biden administration?
No, we would work it out. We would make sure it's eliminated.
I guarantee you, we're going to end fossil fuel, and I am not going to cooperate.
No ability for the oil industry to continue to drill, period. Ends. Number 1.
3 consecutive American presidents have enjoyed stints of explosive economic growth due to a boom in oil and natural gas production. As president, would you be willing to sacrifice some of that growth, even knowing potentially that it could displace thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of blue-collar workers in the interest of transitioning to that greener economy?
The answer is yes. The answer is yes. No new fracking.
We are.
Okay, so that was him on the, how old is he, like 73 or something? This is him on the campaign trail for 73, however many years he's been trying to become president. Finally gets it when his brain is potato. He's gotten it, but his brain is potato. But I mean, at least he had it. But that was him before, promising all this and promising all that. But people's heart changes, hearts change. People's minds change, so I'll play you some stuff on how he feels now.
I'm not banning fracking in Pennsylvania or anywhere else. And I'm going to protect Pennsylvania jobs, period. No matter how many times Donald Trump lies.
I will repeat, and the American people know, that Joe Biden will not ban fracking. That is a fact.
Fact.
That is a fact.
I've laid out an agenda for economic recovery that will restore a sense of security for working families. We won't just build things back the way they were before. We're going to build them back better, with good-paying jobs, building our nation's roads, bridges, solar arrays, windmills, with investments in our health care and child care workers so they get the pay and dignity they deserve while easing the financial burdens on millions of families. With a clean energy strategy that is a place for the energy workers right here in Western Pennsylvania. I am not banning fracking. Let me say that again. I am not banning fracking, no matter how many times Donald Trump lies about me. Let me be clear. No matter how many lies he tells, I am not banning fracking, period.
Now you heard my man's. He said he's not banning fracking. He said he's not banning fracking. You heard him with your own ear holes, okay? You heard him. This is so crazy. What is the first thing he do? The first thing that he does is he kills the Keystone XL pipeline, and then on top of that, he halts all new fracking leases on federal lands and offshore waters. And then on top of that, he kills the southern border wall construction. Now, why does that matter? Because all of this together is not only has he straight up just lied to everyone, because he said he was not gonna ban fracking, no matter how many times Donald Trump lies, he's not gonna ban fracking. And what does my man's do? He bans fracking. He bans fracking and he kills the Keystone XL pipeline. Now, this has off the top, destroyed 70,000 jobs. Now, like, this is not something that's like people should be happy about. I mean, like Justin Trudeau, like the Prime Minister of Canada, was like not too hot about this. He was not too happy about this because the Keystone XL pipeline allows Canada to stay competitive in the world market. So like you can just kiss Canada, deuces. It's out of here. It is not gonna be here for. I mean, you know, they might get by, but like it really does kill, you know, the Canadian economy like a lot. But that was the first thing that my dude did in office. His pen was running. His pen was running. And he said 70,000 jobs out of here. Don't matter. Now, Dale Janway, I hope I'm saying his name right. Dale Janway? I don't know. The mayor of Carlsbad, New Mexico said, "How does that bring us closer together? Environmental efforts should be fair and well researched, not knee-jerk mandates that just hurt an already impoverished state." Excuse me. Now, a large portion of New Mexico's economy and Wisconsin's economy are based on the ability for these like energy departments to be able to flourish. You know, a lot of New Mexico's economy and spending on education and other government programs hinges on the success of their energy manufacturing. Now, this is under direct attack. So, if I were the people who were running New Mexico and places like Wisconsin, I wouldn't know what to do right now. But it's cool, I guess, because we're saving the earth, right? Luke Duncan, the chairman of the Ute Indian tribe business, I hope I'm saying that correctly, has said that the Ute Indian tribe and other energy-producing tribes rely heavily on energy development to fund our governments and provide services to our members. Your order is a direct attack on our economy, sovereignty, and our right to self-determine. Indian lands are not federal public lands. Any action on our lands and interests can only be taken after effective tribal consultation. So there's that, you know, but Joe Biden doesn't care. As you can see, my man's just killed 70,000 jobs, and people are not too excited about it. You know what I mean? A lot of people are not too excited about that, but we're saving the earth, guys, because green energy is green. Not really, but whatever. But someone might ask, or a lot of these people are saying, well, these guys are going to be taken out of these, the oil manufacturing, and they're going to be put into, manufacturing, wind turbines and solar panels, stuff like that. They're saying that they're going to take this one unionized jobs and they're going to, put them into something else. But the reality of that is just not so. Now, here's one of the guys that work on the Keystone XL pipeline talking about this.
Was the moment that he signed the executive order. It was about 2:00 Thursday when we were told that we're not going to progress any further, but we took a couple of days packing our stuff up, and we actually got laid off Friday, and I'll be taking my unemployed self back to Arkansas in the morning. Because of the situation the country's in right now, this is not a time to be making political statements. We need to be finding ways to put more Americans back to work, not the other way around. So I was very surprised.
More good-paying union jobs will be created in the context of the climate and infrastructure work that we have before us than has been impacted by other decisions.
So for those workers, the answer is somebody else will get a job?
The answer is that we are very eager to see those workers continue to be employed in good-paying union jobs, even if they might be different ones.
It's not that easy, you know what I mean? And I don't consider this a job. I consider it a career, and you spend a lifetime, fine-tuning your skills and advancing yourself. And you go start another job, you're starting at the bottom and trying to work your way up. And we're not talking about men and women that are just out of high school, just starting out in life. We're talking about people that have mortgage payments. They got kids to feed, insurance to provide. When you start over in life, it doesn't work that way.
So it doesn't work that way. And why doesn't it work that way? Well, the reason for this is because a lot of these guys are very, very specialized in doing this type of work. A lot of people that work inside of unions are very, very specialized in the work that they do. Now, when you become specialized in your work, your capacity to work in a field becomes very, very small. It's like if you have a doctor, right? Doctors are specialized in a certain thing. You got, ear doctors, you got heart doctors and stuff, and you got doctors that are specifically specialized for a certain thing, right? It's the same thing with these guys. These guys are specifically specialized to be working in a specific type of work, right? Say if you got like a heart doctor, he goes, oh, well, you got to go work on this dude's lungs. Just like, well, he doesn't, I don't know about lungs. I work on hearts. I mean, it's the same thing. It's what happens when work like this is very highly specialized, very highly specialized within this union. So it's just like, well, a lot of the skills that these guys learn working on these, like the Keystone XL pipeline, are non-transferable to working on wind turbines or working on solar panels. There might be some skills that can be transferable, but for the most part, like he said, this is their career. You know what I mean? This is where, they get all of their income. This is how they pay their bills. This is how they feed their families. You know what I mean? And it's highly specialized. The more specialized that you become, the less that you can get out of a certain, job per se, and it's kind of, it sucks because it's just like, because they are so specialized, the downside of becoming so specialized is that, say when something like this happens or a company goes out of business, your usages outside of that are nothing. You know what I mean? You can't just be someone who's highly specialized in building pipelines and then go and work to be a teacher. It just doesn't work the same. You know what I mean? It's like your skills that you've learned in creating a pipeline does not transfer to being a teacher. It just doesn't work that way. It's the same thing. So these guys are saying, the saying, go learn to code. You know what I mean? They're saying, well, go learn to solar, guy. Go learn to wind turbine. You know what I mean? That's essentially what they're saying to these guys, And it's really just I see like a massive, massive, massive just slap in the face to them. And it's just really sad, you know what I mean? Because a lot of these guys, a lot of people are going to lose their job. A lot of people, more than 70,000 people are going to be losing their jobs because of this. And, you know, it's like the words that Joe Biden was saying while he was on the campaign trail mean nothing. Because if he really did mean what he said, he wouldn't have done this. He wouldn't have canceled, or totally canceled the XL pipeline. He wouldn't have canceled, fracking leases. He wouldn't have done any of those things. But, that's what these career politicians do. They tell you one thing and then they do another thing. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's kind of like how people have been saying this for the whole time that he was running. He's like, these words mean nothing. These words literally mean nothing. It's the game that these career politicians play. And because of it, 70,000 people plus are going to be losing their jobs over the next few years. How many that will go up to, I do not know. It's going to be extremely high. And, we're going to be paying the price for that. I mean, KISS, dude, KISS, United States energy independence, goodbye. It's just not going to be a thing anymore, especially with him going into rejoining the Paris Climate Accord, or agreement rather. It's another one we're going to be talking about, but just kiss it goodbye. It's just not going to exist anymore. Gas prices are going to spike. Your electricity bills are going to spike. It's going to be not like people are going to want to say I told you so, but it do be like that. It do be like that. All right, moving on to the next executive order, the 100-day mask challenge, because I guess our lives are just social media challenges, apparently. The 100-day mask challenge, everybody. I blame the cinnamon challenge. You know what I mean? I really feel like, the challenges, I guess, truly did start with the cinnamon, man. After the cinnamon, it's just been going downhill. Now we have the 100-day mask challenge. Now, Joe Biden signed this executive order saying that you are mandated to wear a mask on all federal property, and then proceeds to break that mandate literally hours later. Check it out.
You, the American people. As I said earlier today, we have learned again that democracy is precious. Because of you, democracy has prevailed. That's why Jill and I, Kamala and Doug, wanted to make sure our inauguration was not about us.
I love that meme. I saw a meme the other day. It was like kind of like the what is it, like Elder Scrolls games? Is it? Like those, like I forget, like those kind of NPC games, I guess. But he like walks up the stairs and then they pan over to Joe Biden and he goes, "Hello." I don't know why that was so funny to me. That thing was just so hilarious. But as you can see, my man's is breaking his own mandate. It's the rules for thou but not for thee. You know what I mean? I mean, we've been seeing it with like people like Gavin Newsom. He was at the French Laundry with a bunch of people, no mask, no social distancing. It's almost like they know something we don't. But my man's is breaking his own mask mandate, and then proceeds to take a bunch of photos with his family, also not wearing masks. So I guess, whatever. That's cool, I guess. But when he was questioned about this is what Jen Psaki said, the new press secretary. I'm gonna get to talking about her in a little bit.
Why weren't President Biden and all members of the Biden family masked at all times on federal lands last night if he signed an executive order that mandates masks on federal lands at all times?
At the inaugural
Memorial, yes.
I think, Steve, he was celebrating an evening of a historic day in our country, and certainly he signed the mask mandate because it's a way to send a message to the American public about the importance of wearing masks, how it can save tens of thousands of lives. We take a number of COVID precautions, as you know, here in terms of testing, social distancing, mask wearing ourselves as we do every single day. But I don't know that I have more for you on it than that.
But as Joe Biden often talks about, it is not just important the example of power, but the power of our example. Was that a good example for people who are watching who might not pay attention normally?
Well, Steve, I think the power of his example is also the message he sends by signing 25 executive orders, including almost half of them related to COVID. The requirements that we're all under every single day here to ensure we're sending that message to the public. Yesterday was a historic moment in our history. He was inaugurated as President of the United States. He was surrounded by his family. We take a number of precautions, but I think we have bigger issues to worry about at this moment in time.
They got bigger things to worry about than COVID. The very thing that has stopped the whole world last year. But you hear that, guys, though? If you're celebrating, you don't gotta wear a mask. Jen Psaki said it herself. If you're celebrating, don't gotta wear a mask. It's cool. It's all right. No worries. Also, I find it really funny that everyone keeps saying that this is a historic day. Like, why? Because a new president was inaugurated, just how a new president is inaugurated every 4 years or 8 years? Or is it because they defeated Orange Man bad? They defeated the Orange Man, so now it's a historic day, and all the problems that ever existed in the world are now gone. They're over. Racism is defeated. Democracy wins. I mean, at no point was democracy ever in jeopardy. You know what I mean? Everything that happened in the last few months was perfectly constitutional, and even some of the Democrats have done the very things that a lot of the Republicans did in the last few months, contesting the election. But I guess people forgot about that. Doesn't matter. But I find it so funny. I find it really, really funny that it's a historic event, guys. It's just, we did it. Racism's over. We defeated the Orange Man bad, the Orange Monster. It's so hilarious to me, dude. It's so crazy. But yeah, so if you're celebrating, hey, don't gotta wear a mask. But yeah, I thought that was just so insane to me. Really, really was. But let's see. I'm just looking at my notes. Yeah, so the mask mandate, I mean, I really don't see where this is gonna go, honestly. I mean, if masks worked so well, I'm not really sure why LA, where the mask mandate has been the most scrutinous, why we're having such a massive rise in numbers, why places like New York are having massive numbers where mask mandates are very, very much so implemented. It's almost like they don't work. Oh man, I might get kicked off of everything for saying that. It's almost like there's a disclaimer on all the boxes that say that they're not going to protect you from any viral diseases. But I didn't say that. But I'm going to play you something I thought was freaking hilarious. Like I woke up and I thought it was a meme, and it's not a meme. It's not a meme. This is real life. Real life.
Experts keep telling us that wearing masks is really about protecting others from ourselves in the event that we are contagious. But, if other people aren't wearing their masks or they're wearing them improperly, we need to protect ourselves. So experts say you can double up with a tight weave fabric mask for added protection. Now, Virginia Tech researchers found that doubling up these cloth masks increases the efficacy from 50 to 75%. A 3-layer mask could block up to 90% of the particles.
Okay, so you heard that. You know, because the masks work so well. The masks work so well. You don't just gotta wear one. You gotta wear two. But it's not just two. Not just two. 3. You gotta wear 3. They're saying that using 2 masks raises the efficiency or efficacy from 50% to 75%. And tripling your mask raises it to 90%. I mean, why stop there? Why stop there? Why not put like 5 so you can reach that 120% mark? And then after that, just wrap your head in gauze, just a layer of gauze, so that you're protected from every little thing in the whole entire world. So she said that, you know, if you wear 2 masks or even 3 masks, or I mean, why stop there? Well, just wear freaking 10 of them, you know, that you are efficiently protected. So does that mean if you wear 3 masks, which is a 90% efficiency rate, that you'll be able to protect yourself even when people around you aren't wearing masks? So does that mean people who don't want to wear masks are going to be okay because the people who are going to be wearing masks are going to wear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? I don't know. I do not know. But we're going to go through kind of the evolution of mask wearing from this past year, okay? So when the pandemic first started, Dr. Fauci came out and said, wearing a mask doesn't matter. It's not going to help you in any way. It might make you feel better, but it's not going to help. And then he comes out and then he says, if you don't wear a mask, you're going to frickin' die. So you got to wear a mask. And then when he was asked about his entire 360-degree, you know, change on this, he was like basically saying, he's like, well, we didn't want all the pheasants to buy all the masks so that the, you know, essential workers can have them. But now that I've, you know, willingly lied to all of you guys and have admitted that I've lied to all of you guys, now I need you guys to believe everything that I say from here on out, 100%. And everyone was just like, you got it, Mr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci, apologies. Dr. Fauci. Of course, Dr. Fauci, we're going to believe you because you never lie to us. You never, ever, ever lie to us, Dr. Fauci, ever. And then now we got these, what I think this was CNBC, right? Right, yeah. CNBC comes out and says, nah. You need to wear 3. You need to wear 3. We might even mess around and make you wear 4. You know, and then on top of that, you might want to, you know, put a little donut on your head and jump around on one leg and go in little circles and then do a little chant to, you know, scare off COVID. Oh, dude, the 3 layer mask wearers, they're just built different. They're built different, bro. They're built different. Breathing, nah, they don't need that. If you're a triple masker, if you're a triple masker, you're built different, bro. You don't got to breathe. Breathing's overrated. You know, if you don't breathe, how can COVID won't get you, bro? You'll be good. You'll be good. Okay, on to the 3rd executive order. This one was for or was more towards the gender equality, you know, really, you know, pandering to the woke mob. Gender equality, if you can even call it that. There's a little section in this executive order that says every person should be treated with respect and dignity and should be able to live without fear, no matter who they are, whom they love. Children should be able to learn without worrying about whether they will be denied access to restrooms, locker rooms, or school sports. I I honestly think that like 2020 and 2021, like the years that we're living in right now, are like we are the most accepting society in the world. Like truly. Like I don't really know anywhere where like a gay person would go to get a job and they would be like, "Yeah, we can't hire you because you're gay." Like that company would the woke mob would absolutely destroy that company. That like I don't see where that exists right now anymore. And I'm not really sure where I'm seeing children being denied the restroom. They're just like, "No, you can't go to the restroom. You can't go to the restroom. If you're gonna need a freaking pee in the corner over there, you can't go to the restroom." Or locker rooms, or school sports. Essentially, what this does is absolutely kills women's privacy and absolutely kills women's sports. I don't really see how this can help women's sports at all. I don't see in what way this helps women's sports at all. This is letting biological men be able to compete with women. You know what I mean? And I'm not really sure how this helps women at all. I mean, like I guess this is the question for the ladies out there. I mean, would you feel comfortable having to undress next to a man? You know, when you're about to go out to a game or something, would you feel comfortable undressing next to a man? Fathers, how would you feel knowing that your daughter might be undressing or would most definitely be undressing next to boys? How would you feel? Personally, I would not feel too good about that. I would not be okay. You know, if I had a daughter, I would not be okay with that. Um, and then like just how like another question for the ladies is just like how would you feel competing against a man in a sport, I don't know, such as, wrestling. And I know girls do because like I wrestled in high school and girls do. They train with us. They train. They don't compete. You know what I mean? They don't compete with us, you know. In the very high levels, when you're going to, nationals or something. You're not going to see a girl and a boy compete for each other in something very, very high level. You're just not going to see that. But I mean, now you will. Definitely. Now you definitely will. So, to combat this, the Montana House Judiciary passed a bill called the Save Women's Sports Act. Now, this bars biological boys from participating in sports meant for women and girls. Now, this is what needs to happen for states that want to preserve women's sports. If they don't want the women's sports to be absolutely just dismantled by biological men, well, then they're gonna have to do something like this. Because if you're not, good luck ever having like a woman win anything. You know what I mean? So I don't really see how any of this helps at all. I really, really don't. Other than completely bashes women for all the hard work that they've put in. Now, just listen to this, right? In Connecticut, there were two trans athletes, okay? Andrea Yearwood, or two trans track and field athletes. Andrea Yearwood and Terry Miller. Terry Miller came first place in the 2019 Women's State Championships. He came in first place with a 6.95, and Andrea Yearwood, my goodness, tongue twister, came in second with a 7.01. And third place, Chelsea Mitchell, a biological female, came in at 7.23. Now, if we're going to compare this to the same year men's state championship, first place got a 6.51. Okay, Terry Miller got first place in the women's division, I guess, with a 6.95. First place for the men's got a 6.51. Last place for the men's state championship got a 6.63. Again, Terry Miller, who came in first against the women, got a 6.95. These guys wouldn't have even placed. They wouldn't have even placed if they were to compete against men. They wouldn't have placed. But against the women, they absolutely just dominate. They just They just smash everyone else out of the water. Now you got two mediocre athletes competing against women who work extremely hard. They work their freaking day and night because I mean, you see them. They work very very hard, and they're all that hard work really doesn't mean anything because it's taken away from them just like that by two dudes who wouldn't even place if they were competing in the place they were supposed to be competing in. They wouldn't even placed. So again, I don't see how this helps. I don't see how this, progresses women in any way. I really don't. I feel like the only thing that this really does is yanks the very blood, sweat, and tears that women who actually want to compete in their sport, um, their possibility of winning. Honestly, it takes it from them, and I don't really see how this is gonna help at all. At all. Now, the fourth executive order that we're gonna be going over, I'm gonna read you something that PragerU put out. I love PragerU. They're so cool. They get so much flack, but it's just awesome. But this guy, okay, Joe Biden rejoined the Paris Climate Agreement. Now, after 1 year, China and the EU joined the Paris after I cannot speak. Oh my goodness. 1 year after China and the EU joined the Paris Climate Agreement, their CO2 emissions increased. By how much, you may ask? The EU increased their carbon emissions 40 plus megatons, and China increased 100 plus megatons. I don't have the numbers for India, but they're up there too. 1 year after leaving the EU, oh my goodness, I cannot speak. 1 year after the US left the Paris Climate Agreement, its CO2 emissions decreased 140 megatons. So I don't really see how this is going to help in any way other than create our emissions to go up again and create a liability for the taxpayer. I really don't. I really, really don't. I don't see how this helps in any way. But Joe Biden has said that our focus is going to be on solar, wind, and green energy. Now, what I'm about to say is probably going to be trigger a whole lot of people. It's gonna. All I'm gonna hear is the. But whatever. But I mean, it sounds nice. These words, the words sound nice, but they have no value at all. They don't have any value. Rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement will literally do nothing. It's almost like we were saying how Joe Biden saying he's not going to ban fracking has no value. Deja vu, I guess. Deja vu. First things first, the green energy that everyone so much loves isn't so green. I mean, to begin, the energy, okay, the energy that's created from the green energy are created largely from coal mining or coal burning facilities, because the energy needs to come from somewhere. You know what I mean? It's not like they're just grasping it out of the air. It's just not happening. And they also have to mine lithium for the batteries that go inside of these cars. Now, in order to mine lithium, it's like not a green procedure at all. It does massive amounts of damage to be able to create these batteries. Now, by the time a electric car has rolled out of manufacturing, they've made about 25,000 pounds of CO2. Now, you compare that to the conventional car, and they create about 16,000 pounds of CO2 out of manufacturing. So, about half, less than half, and then along with that, the entire like lifetime, because of the coal burning facilities, because you don't really, the oil cars, I guess, petrol cars, they emit CO2 on an individual level, but the electric cars will be emitting CO2 into the atmosphere on a coal burning facility level. Now, if you take that into account and measure the whole thing along with refineries for oil and stuff and whatnot, the electric vehicle releases about 44 metric tons in its lifetime, and the standard car releases about 49 metric tons of CO2 in its lifetime. So it's about 3 to 5 metric tons less, the electric car, which is literally nothing. It does nothing, and people might say, well, there's hydro. Well, yes, there is hydro that creates, energy, but for a large part, it is coal burning facilities that create the power that is necessary for you to charge your cute little Tesla. Now, for solar and wind, solar and wind have the same issue, is that it's extremely, extremely, extremely expensive to make solar panels and wind turbines. Super expensive, and their energy return is not great. You know what I mean? It's not consistent and it's not great. Right now, the solar panels and wind energy make about 14% of our energy that we use, and it's estimated by 2044 it's only going to get about to be 17%. So it's just the the reality of being able to solely be off of solar and wind is just not probable. It's just not going to happen, you know. So because of this, because of everything else, again, kiss US energy independence goodbye. It's not going to even be a thing anymore. So hope everyone likes paying a massive amount of money for electricity and gas and, stuff like that. So we're going to do some executive order honorable mentions because I cannot go through all of them because it would take me 17 billion hours to do that. So first, he reversed the travel ban targeting largely Muslim countries, meaning, some of the countries are Muslim and some are not. So that this is going to be setting a pretty big precedent on allowing just massive amounts of people, unvetted people, into the country. We rejoined the WHO, who overtly lied to the public. So, I mean, that's going to be cool. And he rescinded the 1776 Commission, which was supposed to combat the garbage, absolute heaping pile of flaming garbage teachings of the 1619 Project, which is a massive amounts of propaganda that, says all the calling cards of the, radical left, which is, America's evil, racist. You're a white supremacist, even if you're like black, like Candace Owens. They've called her a white supremacist. Don't really see how that works, but blah blah blah, whatever else they call conservatives and whatnot. They're changing the census, requiring non-citizens to be allowed into the census and a portion of the congressional representatives. This maximizes the amount of illegal immigrants in the United States, and then it counts them into the census. And it happens every time, like mass people, like mass caravans of people come into the United States. They centralize in heavily blue areas, which gives really Democrats a massive chokehold on the maximum amount of votes that they can receive. Now, mass amnesty is starting to make a little bit of sense now, doesn't it? He stopped Trump's immigration enforcement that was largely asked by Border Patrol and ICE. They were asking for help because they're severely understaffed, and the wall helped. And I guess their Trump enforcement was helping as well, but he stopped that. And then he suspended Trump's executive order to lower insulin and epinephrine prices because I guess people with diabetes just don't matter. Apparently. So that's awesome. All right. So that's it for the honorable mentions. We're going to move on to probably my most favorite person in the world right now. Not because she's particularly good, but just because her consistency of not knowing is just, it's just, man, right on the money. I introduce to all of you, Jen Psaki.
On day 5, so I don't have anything new for you. Well, our team is working right now. We've been here for 5 days. Nothing to report at this point in time. It's a great question. I haven't had the opportunity to speak with our national security team about it. It's an excellent question. I would send you to the Department of Defense. I'd send you the Department of Homeland Security. Of course, we defer to our health and medical experts. Let me take the second question and talk to our national security team and get you something more comprehensive. I don't have any preview for you on when we will have more specifics on our strategy. It's an interesting question. We all love the mailman and mailwoman. I don't have anything for you on it. I'm happy to check with our team on it and see if we have any specifics. I think the president's view on our relationship with China, I tried to do my best to convey to all of you. I'll have to check on that specific piece, and we'll circle back with you directly. As has always been the case, the president reserves the right to respond in the time and manner of his choosing. Even though I stumbled over that, I needed a little more coffee before I came out here, I guess.
Amazing, wonderful, fantastic, one of a kind. Just how extremely well informed this press secretary is. She is on top of it, man. She man, like a bullet. Like a bullet, man. She's in there for sure. For sure she's in there, man. I don't know if anybody watched the press briefings with Kayleigh McEnany, but man, she was very good at her job. Like, she was extremely good at her job. She was able to say things right off the bat. Like, she knew exactly what she was going to say, how she was going to say it. I cannot say the same about Jen Psaki. Now, honestly, if there were the same answers being given during the Trump presidency that Jen Psaki is giving right now, man, the world would be on fire. The media, they would be screeching freaking ree everywhere. They would be like chickens with their head cut off. It would be the end of the world. Everyone's dying. The world is racism. Get into your bunkers. It's the end of the world. I mean, that's what would have been happening. But, now that, Orange Man Bad is gone, it's cool. No worries. Doesn't matter that she has no answers to anything ever. But it's cool, And I found it really interesting, her answer, or failing to answer, rather, on the Hyde Amendment, which bans the use of federal funds for abortions, and the Mexico City policy, which bars foreign organizations from receiving U.S. funding from providing abortions. This is her on answering that question.
Network, two big concerns for pro-life America. The Hyde Amendment, which of course keeps taxpayer dollars, as you know, from paying for abortions, Medicaid abortions, and the Mexico City policy, which under the previous administration they expanded to keep tax dollars from overseas paying for abortions. So what is President Biden planning on doing in those two items right now?
Well, I think we'll have more to say on the Mexico City policy in the coming days. But I will just take the opportunity to remind all of you that he is a devout Catholic and somebody who attends church regularly. He started his day attending church with his family this morning, but I don't have anything more for you on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, as president-elect, he talked.
So she ended with her amazing calling card of, I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you on that. But she goes from, okay, I'm not going to answer your question, but I do want to let you know that Joe Biden is a devout Catholic. I hate to burst everyone's bubble, but Joe Biden is not a Catholic. Him being pro-abortion, pro-murder, goes against the Catholic belief. You can't be both. You can't be both, guy. You can't be a devout Catholic and then also be pro-abortion. That is not how it's not how it works. So he is for sure 100% playing everyone. The media is playing everyone. This press secretary is playing everyone. He's not a devout Catholic, because if he was, he wouldn't be pro-abortion. So, I mean, the guy was literally denied the Eucharist in a church in South Carolina. So don't let potato brain fool you, my dudes. He's not a Catholic. And how can I say that with such certainty and 100% belief? It's because he's literally going against the belief of Catholicism that, you should not murder children. So, again, if you believe that he's a devout Catholic, maybe look a little harder, No, but like the question is like why is the media pushing this? Why is the media pushing this big narrative that, you know, he is a devout Catholic and that, you know, he's like, oh, you know? It's because I mean they understand there is a very big religious revival happening within the United States. A lot of people have either been reigniting their faith or people have been diving and becoming a believer in whatever faith it may be. You know what I mean? And they know that Joe Biden is not likable. Like even the people that voted for him don't like him. Like people voted for him because they didn't like Donald Trump. So they voted, the only thing that they had was Mr. Potato Brain. So they they got Mr. Potato Brain in there, so you know, it's cool, I guess. It's cool. Oh my gosh. But they understand that. They understand that there's a big religious revival happening and they want him to be more likable to the masses. So, you know, they say he is a devout Catholic and that, you know, they should be applauded. And I find it so interesting because when Amy Coney Barrett was, you know, being like freaking interrogated for her going onto the Supreme Court, she was like bashed for being a Catholic. She was absolutely bashed for her belief systems. She was told the dogma lives loudly within you. Like what is this, the 17th century? You know what I mean? The dogma lives loudly within you. Like, like give me a break, dude. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. But hey, Joe Biden's a devout Catholic, and it's now to be applauded and cheered. You know? Oh my goodness. All of this is just such madness. It's such madness. It's so this is so crazy to me, honestly. But you know, I thought that was so funny. So that was Jen Psaki. Let's see if she gets better. I hope she does. You know what I mean? I hope she's able to, you know, be able to get to the level that Kaylee was at because transparency, you know, that's their calling card, right? They're the most transparent ever. So let's hope that they can kind of do better and you know, be able to give good answers to questions that are being asked of them instead of asking what Joe Biden's favorite ice cream is. Why does that matter? I don't even care. But now it's chocolate chip, by the way. If you didn't see that tweet, if you didn't see the tweet, it's chocolate chip. Now that you know. Okay. So, speaking of the hypocrisy of of the media and of mostly Democrats, we can understand this or try to understand the complete change of heart. The complete change of heart of major Democratic governors and mayors. Mayor Lori Lightfoot saying, "We need to reopen as soon as possible." Governor Andrew Cuomo saying, "We simply cannot stay closed until the vaccine hits critical mass. The cost is too high. We will have nothing left to open. We must reopen the economy, but we must do it smartly and safely." Governor Gavin Newsom, I want to say things, but I'm not. "As a parent of very young children, in-person instruction, there's no substitute for it. It's so much more difficult for a 4-year-old to focus on a device than a 14-year-old. I would say the same thing about a 14-year-old. Governor Gretchen Whitmer, "Our restaurant owners have made considerable sacrifices over the past 10 months to keep communities safe and to save lives." Oh my God, I lost my place. "And there's no question it's been hard for owners and for their employees. I know that it has not been easy." You know, and Mayor Muriel, I hope I'm saying her name right. Muriel Bowser. Muriel? Muriel? Muriel Bowser saying that restaurants can now open dining to 25% capacity. Now, nothing has changed. Nothing in, you know, COVID realm has changed whatsoever. Nothing. And you know, now they're saying this and they're saying that. It's almost like restaurant owners and people who are not afraid have been saying to do this for like 10 months. Like literally. But I guess, you know, yelling at the wind, I guess, because now that their dude's in place, now that they got the guy that they want in there, you know, now it's okay. Now it's wonderful to do so. It's so insane, man. You know, if you really don't think that they're playing politics with your life at this point, I mean, I really don't know what will ever wake up people to the fact that these people don't care about you. They don't care about your life. They don't care about what you do. They don't care about you, man. They don't care about you. But they will continue to say that they do, and people will continue to believe that they do when they actually do not and will not ever. Because I mean, nothing's changed. Nothing in COVID is honestly is it's getting worse, you know? But they're saying, nah, it's cool. We gotta open it. The economy has to reopen. It's almost like everyone has literally been saying that forever. But I guess it's cool, bro. I guess it's cool. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I want to finish with this because it's just I thought it was a meme. I didn't think it was real, you know, but sadly it is. Sadly it is. Here is Ari Melber quoting Nicki Minaj. Here we go.
And this time, Trump is out of office. So the entire case is not about removing him, but whether to convict and disqualify him from holding any office like the presidency forever. Now, this is huge and has never actually happened before. The United States Senate deciding something that can shape history, sanction Trump, and ensure he never has power again, and do so on that basis that you see right there, for life. There's no more significant amount of time than for life. That's why Nicki Minaj famously sang, for life, for life. And if the work is vindicated, best believe when it's done, it will be syndicated for life, for life. And just as Nicki declared herself in this very moment a king, the question here is if the speaker will ultimately slay Goliath with a constitutional sling.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. If you wanted any sort of like confidence in your journalists, if you wanted any sort of, you know, confidence in the news that you watch, they're quoting Nicki Minaj. It's where we're at. It is where we're at. You know, they don't have Trump's tweets anymore. You know what I mean? They can't go all down his Twitter feed and be like, all right, what are we gonna yell and read about today? What are we gonna do? So now they're you know, pushed to quoting Nicki Minaj. Amazing, wonderful. I'm sure the people that wrote that, because you know that he's not writing this. I'm sure the people that wrote that were like, you know what, this is amazing. This is an amazing idea. This is amazing, guys. We just quote Nicki Minaj because she's so relatable, and then it's just gonna be great, guys. It's gonna be great. And then this piece of gold happens. Oh my goodness. So that's been man, it's been an interesting week, to say the least. So this has been another episode of the Evening Talk Show. Remember, think critically, open your eyes, don't be afraid to be brave. Peace.